Dear students, today we are going to discuss on the ethnographic account of the scene. Sin is a Burmese word. It is used by the Burmese to denote all hill tribes. The Sins live mainly in western part of Myanmar. They are one of the largest ethnic minority groups in Myanmar. They are found in the Indian states of Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, and Assam. The Sins are of the Mongoloid race whose forefathers were believed to be migrated from central China. According to Grierson, Sin language belongs to Burmese branch of Tibeto-Burman group under Sino-Tibetan linguistic family. Sin language is otherwise known as Kuki Sin group. Maite, Thado, Ralte, Paite, Jahao, Chiru, Rangkhol, Malan, Sakte, So or Khyang, Khami, Ro, Aso, Jau, Lai, Pangku, etc. have the Sin affinity. In the present discussion, the ethnographic account of the Sins, particularly in Myanmar, is given in groups. The Sins have patricides and patrilineages. Lineages are ranked according to the rank of the mother, but this is not always the case. Lineages of shorter line are localized either in one or two villages or in one or two wares of a larger village composed of wares. These localized lineages are usually named. Descent is patrilineal. The kin terminologies as given by laymen are as under: father, father's brother, pa; mother, mother's sister, nu; father's sister, ni; mother's brother, mother's brother's son, pu; mother's brother's daughter, pi; father's sister's son, father's sister's children, two; elder siblings, parallel cousin of same sex, u; younger siblings, parallel cousin of same sex, now; siblings, parallel cousin of opposite sex, par or tar. Marriage. Most of the Sin marriages are monogamous. However, polygyny, which is largely a practice of the aristocrats and wealthy commoners, is also generally permitted. The incestuous rule of the Sins restrict them to marry children, parents, parents' siblings, siblings, half-siblings, immediate parallel cousins, or close agnatic collaterals. The unit of exogamy is a major segment of a sheep, thus permitting sheep endogamy. Many Sin groups prefer marriage with a real or classificatory mother's brother's daughter. According to Stevenson, endogamous unions accounted for 81% out of 165 marriages. Family. According to Stevenson, the normal household unit is the nuclear family. Joint family is rare among the Chin. The constitution of the Chin family is influenced by the laws of inheritance and also by marriage customs. They are patriarchal in residence. Only the youngest son or the only son living with the parents even after marriage inherits and enjoys all the paternal property. But sometimes the public opinion forces him to share the property with the brothers, keeping a larger share for him. Father or husband is the head of the family and represents the family in all social or religious matters. Property is earned through the joint labor of husband and wife. The grown-up children also contribute to it. Inheritance. Among the Chins, sons inherit their father's property. In some, inheritance is by primogeniture, in others by ultimogeniture, and elsewhere by a combination of the two. Inheritance of the father's house is commonly by ultimogeniture. Among the northern Chins, if there are sons by major wives, those by minor wives may not inherit except as they receive a settlement in their father's lifetime. Political organization. Formal political institutions at the village level are largely absent among the Chins of southern Myanmar. The wars within a village may in fact be at war with one another. There are no regular village-wide political offices. There is usually one person in each settlement or ward who acts informally as leader. Some northern Chins have chiefs and village councils and elected headmen. According to laymen, the office of headman is hereditary. A chief is essentially a headman whose power in his own village derives from his connections and land holdings beyond his village. To the groups within the area of a chief's power, layman applies the term ram. Rams cut across ethnic and linguistic lines and are generally unstable. They are subject to the fortunes of war and intrigue. Social stratification. Individual household among the Chins achieve differential status by the performance of ungraded feats of merit. Chiefs are stratified into aristocratic and commoner. Both upward and downward mobility do occur. A wealthy commoner household may achieve aristocratic status by repeated marriages into higher ranked lineages. It cannot, however, thereby inherit the office of hetman or chief. Similarly, an aristocratic son of a minor wife and his descendants may sink in the social system. The two ranks in traditional Chin society below the rank of commoner, bondsmen and slaves were war captives and their descendants. Warfare. The sins seem to have been headhunters. They regard human heads as one of the motives for warfare. This was not true of most sin groups. The heads were on occasion taken as an aftermath of a raid. The chief aims of sin warfare seem to have been booty slaps and revenge. Wars were not prosecuted with any great vigor, although they sometimes were favored and losses were generally slight. When first contacted by the British, sin settlements were engaged in almost constant fighting among themselves and in raids on lowland Indians and Burmese. Religion. The indigenous religion is characterized by belief in a variety of spirits. There is a creator below whom are spirits or perhaps classes of spirits who have human characteristics and are concerned with mankind. There are spirits which are concerned for the welfare of local, field, village, family, etc. Another large class of spirits, sometimes termed malevolent, is said by laymen to be regarded as capricious rather than malicious. Souls of the living and ghosts of the dead are called by the same word. Some are responsible for good fortune among men, others cause illness and misfortune. Large numbers are Christian. In some areas, however, entire villages have been converted to this international religion. Nativistic movements have appeared. Practitioners. Among some groups, hereditary priests receive a portion of the sacrifice and are given an amount of agriculture yield each year by their fellow villagers. In return, they conduct sacrifices on behalf of the entire community. In still other cases, priests are appointed by a chief. This may also be seers who determine the required sacrifice by feeling the peasant's pulse and also conduct the sacrificial ceremony. We have the ceremonies. The central act of Chin ceremonies is the sacrifice, the chief means of establishing relations with the supernatural. They sacrifice usually a fowl or pig, or at the greater ceremonies, a mithun is accompanied by ritual recitations, feasting, and sometimes dancing. Reasons for sacrificing include curing, maintenance of the game supply, and ensuring status in the afterlife. The Sins attribute illness to malevolent spirits. Medical remedies are much less important than sacrifices. Soul, death, and afterlife. The Sins conceive of the afterlife as a planet of heaven and a village of the dead. All ghosts go the village of the dead. Admission to the plant of heaven is based upon achievements in feast of merit and celebration during the deceased lifetime. Ranks attained in life are maintained by the ghosts. Some sins cremate, but most seem to dispose the dead by burial in a cemetery outside the village. Now let us draw the conclusion. The Sins are affiliated to the Mongoloid race and believed to be descended from central China, southwards and settled in the present Chinland. The Chins probably came to Myanmar in the late 9th to 10th century AD. Most of the Chin people moved westward and settled in the present Chin state around 1300 to 1400 AD. Their population is approximately 450,000. They belong to the Tibeto-Burman group. There are around 52 sub-tribes among the Chin. Majority of the Chins are Christian, though there are Buddhists and Animist Chin people. The Chins are known to be honest, tolerant, brave, and religious people. This distinctiveness of the culture indicates that the Chins are one of the indigenous people in their own land.